Welcome to Raaonline. I am Dr. Jay Kumar and I am just going to take you through a topic on beta adrenergic blocking drugs, or otherwise called as beta blockers. And this particular chapter is very important in the sense majority of the cardiac disease they used to start on beta blockers. So there are a variety of beta blockers are there, and we need to know about the what type of drugs can be selected for which type of patients. So coming to the competency here, describe the mechanism of action, uses, adverse effects and contraindications of beta adrenergic blockers. So the students should be able to classify the beta adrenergic receptor blockers with some examples. Then we can discuss about the pharmacological actions on various systems and adverse effects, contraindications and drug interactions of beta adrenergic blockers. Then finally we will discuss about the cardiovascular uses and non-cardiovascular uses of beta blockers and what is the rationale of giving these beta blockers in various cardiovascular conditions. So this is a scientist, Sir James Black, who was a person discovered beta blockers. Before that it was very difficult to counteract the alpha receptors, they mediated vasoconstriction, increase in the heart rate or whatever it is. But after discovery of this beta blockers, especially the propranolol by Sir James Black, then it has revolutionized the whole lot of beta blockers and which is commonly used for the treatment of cardiovascular conditions. So coming to the beta blockers, what are they? They are the drugs that inhibit the interaction of catecholamines. Say for example, the catecholamines we can know that adrenaline, noradrenaline, and the noradrenaline is the neurotransmitter that is released from the sympathetic nerve endings. So when it binds to the postsynaptic alpha adrenergic receptors and they can produce increase in the BP, or if it acts on the beta receptors in the heart, it increases the heart rate, so on. So these are the drugs, beta blockers, as the name suggests, they simply blocks the beta receptors wherever it is situated. And for example, as I told you, beta 1 is present in the heart. So when they block the beta receptors in the heart, and they can reduce the heart rate or force of contractions. So these drugs, they inhibit the interaction of the catecholamines, noradrenaline, adrenaline or any other sympathomimetic drugs with the beta adrenergic receptors, or it can inhibit the adrenergic response mediated through the beta receptors. So coming to the beta adrenergic receptors, there are, as we all know, that there are three types of beta adrenergic receptors. I am not going to talk about the alpha adrenergic receptors. So the beta 1, what are the drugs, catecholamines that can act on the beta receptors? One is the isoprenaline, then adrenaline and noradrenaline. The affinity is shown in this table for various subtypes of beta receptors. So if you come across the isoprenaline, they most act only on the beta receptors. It doesn't have any actions on the alpha receptors. Whereas adrenaline, if you take noradrenaline, they act both on the alpha receptors as well as the beta receptors. So when you see the affinity, which has got more affinity towards beta receptors, in all the three subtypes, isoprenaline has got the more affinity. And when it comes to the adrenaline and noradrenaline, almost it is equal for beta 1. Whereas in beta 2, adrenaline is more acting on the beta 2, and then whereas beta 3, noradrenaline is more acting on the beta 3. So these are the various affinities for different catecholamines that can target the various subtypes of beta receptors. Coming to the location, it is beta 1 is mainly in the postsynaptic area it is situated, whereas beta 2 is both presynaptic and postsynaptic as well as the extrajunctional sites. Whereas beta 3 is again, it's a postsynaptic. So the only presynaptic where you have got the beta receptor is the beta 2 subtype, which is present in the presynaptic site. And the mechanism of action of all these beta receptors, if you see, they all stimulate the adenylyl cyclase enzyme, and what happens, it ultimately increases the cyclic GMP and finally increases the protein kinase A, and thereby it leads to the therapeutic effects. And this GS is nothing but the what? G protein coupled receptors, where it is going to stimulate the G protein coupled receptors. That is why it is GES, and it stimulates adenylyl cyclase, increase in cycling KFB, thereby it produces protein kinase A and leading to the therapeutic effects. So this is what the mechanism of action of these normally when you stimulate or activate the beta receptors. But today our talk is mainly on the beta adrenergic blockers. So it is going to just block all these effects.